so good to see you. It's Verity here and welcome to my channel. I'm taking part in another blog hop today as WOW, Embossing Powders and Trinity Stamps have teamed up for a collaboration blog hop and giveaway. There is a fabulous hop going on with plenty of inspiration from both design teams, so make sure you hop along for your chance to win. I'll give more details about the giveaway at the end of the video. I've got two cards to show you today that look very similar, but one was originally a mistake. But I wanted to show you that even if you make a mistake, you can still work it and make it into a card. The stamp set I'm using is Hello Sweet Friend from Trinity Stamps, and I absolutely love this floral watercolouring can that's in the stamp set, and I'm going to use this as the main focus of the card. And to start off with, I am smishing some of Catherine Pooler's inks onto an acrylic stamping block. I've used Juniper Mist, Daydream and Stone Blue. Now I'm applying these onto the block because I'm doing sort of a colour block printing method, and I'm spritzing the ink with water because this ink reacts with water. I'm then positioning this on my grid mat and flipping my watercolour cardstock down and pressing it down. Now this is the first card, so this is the card I kind of made a mistake on. So you can see I didn't get it very centred, it was a bit wonky, my borders weren't very even, and that's because I was doing it with pressing the watercolour cardstock down into the block. So on the second attempt, did exactly the same, inked up and smushed the ink onto the acrylic block, but this time I've lifted up the block and I'm then turning it over and positioning it down. The reason I didn't do this to begin with is I thought I had too much water on the block and it was just going to pool off, but it didn't, and it worked really fine. Now you get a little bit of pooling of the ink depending on how much water you do spritz on it when you pull it off, but it's really important that you leave the block on there for a little bit so the ink colour soaks into the card and saturates it. As I was planning on doing some heat embossing, it was important that I dried the panel, and I just used my white WOW Embossing Powder dual heat gun to do this. And once they were dry, I positioned the cardstock in my stamping platform and I placed the floral watering can onto the panel, and I'm positioning it at a bit of an angle just for a bit of artistic license. And I'm just also using an anti-static pad just to take away any excess moisture that I may not have completely dried off. However, WOW Embossing Powders put a lot of effort into removing the amount of static within your powder in those little pots, so the powder will only adhere to areas where there's moisture, not necessarily static. To ink up the stamp, I'm using, of course, my clear ultra slow drying embossing pad from WOW, and then I'm just pressing this into the cardstock with my platform. Because it's watercolour cardstock, I'm stamping this several times, and that's the beauty of using a stamping platform, that you can stamp over it again to ensure you get a good coverage of ink. And then I'm using Opaque Bright White by WOW Embossing Powders. This is a lovely white, really pops when it heat sets, and especially with the colours that I'm using, it really will stand out. Now I'm just using a fine brush just to brush away the areas of the stamp that just slightly overlaps off of the colour block area and into the border, because I don't want my embossing powder there. It's not straight, it's just the design of the stamp didn't quite fit my acrylic block width really. And again, I'm using my heat embossing gun from WOW to heat set this, and I'll just show that in real time that it just, once the gun's hot, it melts your powder really quickly. And I've done exactly the same with the card panel where I made the mistake, where it's wonky. I still thought, right, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to use it, and I heat embossed the same watercolouring can onto that. Once it was heat set, I then trimmed it down so there was no watercolour card surrounding it, so you wouldn't know I've printed the colour block wonky. And this, I'm going to add some fun foam to the back to mount this onto my card using some double-sided adhesive. I did start to use material to line this up, but then I just eyeballed it in the end. And the other panel I just trimmed down so I had a bit of an 1/8 of an inch border, and again I used some fun foam just to adhere this to the card, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So for the sentiments, I'm using the sentiments that come in the Hello Sweet Friend stamp set. I'm using hello, just wanted to say hello and thank you so very much. The sentiments were heat embossed onto black cardstock with the white embossing powder again. I love white heat embossed sentiments on black card strips, trimming these strips down and foam mounting them onto the card panel. For the hello, I just added a flag tail to the end, and I added a slight trim to the just wanted to say sentiment. As I said, these were foam mounted onto the card, and to finish the card off I used the Rock Candy Confetti Mix by Trinity Stamps. These are some lovely sequins that are completely flat, that do not have a hole in them, and they are like a lovely beautiful silver that shine. And this confetti mix contains a wide variety of different sizes, which is perfect for using on your cards. I just adhered them down with some multimedia matte adhesive, and I positioned them into 3 different areas around the card, forming a triangle to lead the eye around the card. And I like to use an odd number of sequins, it's more appealing to the eye. So I've hoped I've shown you how you can easily fix a mistake. Don't automatically think you've done something wrong, I can't use it, because you can. Now, as I said, WOW Embossing Powders and Trinity Stamps are collaborating on a blog hop today. They also have a giveaway going on. You could be in the chance of winning 6 embossing powders along with a carrying case from WOW Embossing Powders, and Trinity Stamps are also giving away an amazing pack of goodies including stamps, dies and embellishments. So make sure, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, hop over to my blog, leave a comment there, continue along the hop for your chance to win. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, you may also like this card where I've used Zig Clean Colour Real Brush Markers to create a spring green thank you card. If you're not a subscriber already, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel, and why not hit that bell icon so you can be notified when my next video is up. Until next time, happy crafting!